This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by generous patrons, like Chris, Craig Marshall, Clinway, Metalligo Phaleon, Amara May, Adam James, Cello Redwind, Dan Wilkerson, Christoph Haas, Centra, Amy Veris, Infinitron, Casey Schaefer, Alex Spouse, and Omeji Cat Comet. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, ARCians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 54. I'm Lukile Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Yazz Pot. Welcome back. We're back from, I think it's the first time in, it's a long time since we had a break, or where we didn't, like a week where we didn't have a stream. There were two reasons for it, actually. Yazz doesn't know about the second one. The first one was, it was a really slow week in Final Fantasy XIV.
Very.
So we didn't feel comfortable going on air with like nothing to discuss other than like, I don't know what, I can't quite remember what we had, like something worked out, but we weren't quite sure. If that was enough. So the second part was that I had a cold, which meant that my voice was like I barely had a voice. So even if we had something there, it would have been a weird podcast because the main host can't speak for shit, so that would have been interesting. Anyway, today we are going to talk about patch 406, more specifically the summoner and machinist adjustments announced for that patch. Also going to talk about Moonfire Faire, which is, of course, making its return. The new feast season and rewards have been announced. Final Fantasy XIV is headed to Gamescom, so we have to talk about that. They also announced and released something strange. Well, it's not strange. We've seen something like this before. Tales from the Storm, which is a collection of short stories from the events of Stormblood. The furnishing contest is going on right now, and if we have time for it, we will have a great discussion where we talk about our favorite and least favorite patches for Final Fantasy XIV. Let's talk about the channel real quick. Remnants of a Realm is out. It took a while to make. Now, I've made myself... I've made it more. When I made Remnants of a Realm, the idea was that it was going to be easier to make than Fallen Rise.
Oh, that worked.
That worked for one episode. That was the first one, which took me like a day to make. And then I thought, it's a little bit basic, so I started building on it, and now we're at episode 16, and it's. Just to put it into perspective, each of the titles, that I added some gold. Okay, so the first thing I did here was the title cards that comes up when I talk about a location. Now, initially, that was just a very easy, transparent PNG with the text and the coat of arms. It was a very basic, and I made like a very basic gold gradient to go on the text, and I don't think it was shadowed. It just had like an outline. Now in the next episode, I thought, I don't like the design of it, so I changed the gradient and I added a shadow. Now because I added that shadow, I went, would be cooler if it was actual 3D. So I went into After Effects and I started tinkering with that. I think it went like 3 or 4 episodes. Then I started doing that, which the first. And then after that, I thought it's not good enough. So I improved it further, and I added like an animation on it, and it now also has the Japanese text below it. One title card takes 1 hour and 35 minutes to render. So I have to like, one day is just After Effects rendering. Because I hate myself so much, I also recently changed how the UI, the thing with the information on the side, appears. It now sort of bounces down and it has like a glowing thing, and that also has to be rendered in After Effects. So yeah, I've that's why that's why it's taking a little bit longer than usual for the. That's why I'm sort of lagging behind a little bit here. Hopefully it's worth it. Because I can't go back now. I have to make them like this
you're stuck
forever. Oh well. Also, just to make it better, Secrets of a Realm is also being worked on now. I've started scripting it. We're gonna look at the sand caves from 1.0. I think I've teased this before, but it's now happening. So that's expect that one mid to late August. You know how I am with release dates. Don't take it too seriously. It might be late. Probably. If I say mid to late, it's probably late. Also, Speaker's Place is back. And yes, you're kicking it off with Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah,
should be good.
It's this is a weekly thing. We think, yeah. For now, it is at least. We expect that one to. It's released today, actually. So if you haven't watched it, you can go watch it after this. It's on our YouTube, youtube.com/FFXIV. It will probably be released every Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know. That's like the days where we usually don't publish anything. So that would be a nice thing to put there. We're also looking for new hosts. Now, Orange is gone, so we need a replacement. So if you are interested in joining Speakers of Eidolon, you can do so. There are some requirements here. You need a decent mic, you need an HD webcam, and you have to be an active Final Fantasy 14 player, and you need to know your shit. Basically, these are also permanent positions. This is not a guest thing. You have to this is something you have to plan for a few. I don't know how long. It doesn't have to be like for years, but you have to plan for this. You need to make sure you have enough time to stream for 2+ hours every Saturday, plus prep work. So if you are interested and you think you can fill Orange's shoes, you can send us an application at speakersofeidolon@gmail.com. Okay. That's it for the... Oh yeah, also for everyone, really. We are going to experiment with a post-show thing today. So that means after this podcast, we will have a quick break, and then we will return with a post-show where we just sort of wind down after the podcast. And if you are a Patreon supporter, you can go into the post-show hangout thing, and we can take questions from Patreon supporters and stuff. So it'll be a project. It'll be a test, an experiment. So please look forward to that. Okay, let's get to the main content. So patch 4.06. We know that there are summoner and machinist changes coming because I believe it's the Japan something. Isn't this from a Japanese translation? I believe.
Yeah, it was like an interview with Yoshi somewhere.
Do we know any of the specifics or no?
Fortunately not. I wish we did.
Yeah. What do you think it's gonna be? Because I have no idea. Because I've only read about because every single summoner is terrified right now. That's all I know. Because when someone's talking about adjusting summoner, it's scary.
I have a feeling they'll probably just make summoner a little more forgiving, maybe. Because if you screw anything up right now as a summoner, you're pretty much screwed for a long time. Yeah. It's really, really painful. So that's what I would gather. I can't imagine it's going to be something super crazy.
Final Fantasy XIV and love WoW Kappa.
Thank you, Orange. For those of you that missed that one. that was Orange. Thank you for resubbing. You said that one of the requirements is that you have to hate Final Fantasy. You have to love Final Fantasy 13 and WoW. I think that's what you said. Yeah, so
You have to hate 14 and love WoW.
Oh yeah, that was it. To fill my role, you have to hate Final Fantasy 14 and love WoW. You could also probably love Final Fantasy 13. That's also part of his.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. As for Machinist, I assume it's probably just. I'm gonna assume it's probably just flat buffs again, kind of like they did with the Hot Shot, where they just made you do 3% more damage, stuff like that. I don't think it's anything super major, or they would probably be telling us like something. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's we don't really know anything, but yeah, as you said, if it had been major changes, I think they probably would have said more.
Right.
There was one thing, and I don't know if this is just because I don't really read maintenance messages anymore, but it says, in order to accompany patch 4.06, we'll be performing infrastructure maintenance, during which Final Fantasy 14 will be unavailable. I just thought that was a weird... I don't think I've read that before. I think they usually just say we'll be performing maintenance.
Yeah, I think it's usually scheduled maintenance is what they say, right?
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I've never...
So, what could that mean? Is that, like, related to the server issues that's been going on?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be. I mean, but you got that in EU as well, right? So
yeah. Oh yeah, that's
so. So it wouldn't just be like the North American problems they've been having.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe they're just changing up something like code-wise or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just a weird wording.
It is. Definitely.
Okay, Moonfire Faire. Yay! It's returning. I just wanted to point out something here, and I think a lot of people want to point that out. So I think, let's see here. I'm just gonna switch to it. I don't think we've seen such a big Miqo'te butt since 1.0.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I just had to say that because that's my only joke about this. The 1.0
I mean,
Miqo'te butt.
The booty aside, are you excited for this event?
No.
Me neither. This seems like one of the most lackluster events we've ever had.
Yeah, there are like several reasons for that. One of the reasons is because of the rewards. Because the rewards are the gear from the level 60. I never remember the ruby. No, what's it called? The long titled one. The one with the old debuff status. That dungeon. It's the gear that drops there. Only you can dye it. It's I'll just read what it says. The Moonfire Faire is off to an explosive start, and Moyaru is eager to tell anyone and everyone about the exciting new venue for this year's festivities. Those eager to reprieve from the adventuring life are encouraged to see him out and learn how to partake in the celebration. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is just... I don't really...
Yeah.
This is just a seasonal event. I don't really get excited for the seasonal events. Unless they have really good, like, glamour gear, which is usually the only positive about these. And because I can't remember a single seasonal event. Well, actually, the Halloween event, the All Saints
that was
Day.
amazing.
Yeah, that one was great.
I mean, the last Easter one, I forget the name of them, was really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like.
Oh yeah, the one with the mini games. That was cool. Yeah.
So like I mean, even the one where you had to go like you had the big dude smashing the hammer, and you had to go in and grab like the rice cakes out of it and stuff like that. Like, I don't know.
Does it specify what we're doing though?
No, I mean that's true. I think it's just the rewards is what I'm the most disappointed with. Like those rewards seem completely awful to me.
Yeah. Though there is something interesting here at the bottom that says certain items available during previous iterations of the event can be purchased via Moonfire Faire vendors. One would think that Square Enix would just put them on the mug station. But it looks like, at least in this event, you can actually get the previous rewards from NPCs. So that's good.
That is, yeah.
But yeah, I am not really too excited. It's there are 3 other items though. There's some shaved ice, a tabletop thing, a Moonfire Faire painting, and let's see, it's Hyper
the roll.
Rainbow Z Orchestrion roll.
Yeah, which I have no idea what that. I'm assuming that's a new song.
I can't recognize that name, so
people thought it was going to be Papaya, but it's not, because that's on the Mog Station now. You will get that, and you will never get that again for free.
Nope. Okay, speaking of, well, no, that's not a good segue at all, Lukile. Let's just move on to the feast. The feast, the new season has been announced. For those of you that are into PvP, that's good news. Obviously, we all knew that the new season was coming anyways, but it will come with patch 4.06. So that will be out on Tuesday. This will be the first season since PvP was drastically overhauled in Stormblood. We're very excited to watch the battle to the top of the ranks unfold and see the last heroes rise to prominence. I know what you're all thinking. A new season of the feast must mean new rewards. Are you as curious as I am? Let's take a peek. Our first sneak preview is the reward for placing in the top 100. This time around, the players ferocious enough to break into the top 100 will earn a full set of armor as a reward. This equipment won't be available anywhere else, so start sharpening your claws and fangs. Take a look at the concept art for the armor below. So let's take a look at that armor. Let's see if I can do this correctly. There we go.
It's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome armor.
Yeah, it is. It's I hope it looks as good in game. There's sometimes what the artwork doesn't quite translate to the game.
I agree, yeah.
But this one looks like it would fit pretty well in 14. So yeah, it looks really good. But of course it continues.
I'm more excited about this personally.
Yeah. I also just want to note that the concept art features a work in progress, so it might actually change a little bit. Probably not much though. By the 12, I need that armor set, but wait, there's more. In the new season, some highly anticipated weapons will be added to the lineup of rewards. Naturally, we've created these exciting new weapons for all jobs. So how do you get your hands on these intriguing new weapons? The weapons will be purchasable with special ticket items earned through PvP. All players who finish this season, of the feast in the top 10 will be rewarded with enough tickets to exchange for the weapon of their choice. A daunting task, but trust me, they'll be worth it. I just want to stop right there. What does that mean, though? Does that mean they actually have stats? Because first I thought glamour weapons.
Oh, I definitely think they're glamour weapons.
Okay, yeah. Because
personally, I'm gonna go off the fact that they're saying like they're highly anticipated, that they're probably either really well-known weapons throughout the franchise, is what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But I say that, and there's a little image with question marks over it, basically.
Yeah, I have.
And I don't know if any of those. I don't know if I recognize any of those at all.
No,
so
yeah, we'll see. In addition to this, players can also earn these tickets for placing in bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond rankings by the end of the season. The number of ticket items earned will vary depending on rank. In short, the most bloodthirsty and skilled players who managed to make it into the top 10 this season will be duly rewarded for their efforts by getting the weapon of their choice right away. Those who came close but did not quite make it will have the chance to save up these tickets and earn their weapon by continuing to participate in ranked matches. Feeling up to the task? Be sure to start training now to prepare for this exciting new season of the feast. Keep an eye out for updates on even more prizes that will be available in the future. Now that PvP has been relaunched with the release of Stormblood, I highly recommend giving it a go. Even if you've never participated in a ranked match of the feast, there's no time like now to jump in and see what you've been missing. You won't be disappointed. Okay. That is interesting because that makes those weapons more obtainable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because if I've read this correctly, that means you don't you can still be ranked bronze basically and get a shot at the weapon.
Oh yeah,
And all you need is the tickets.
Right. And ranking bronze is like ridiculously easy.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like 5 wins or something, and then you're bronze.
Yeah, something like
so
that.
It's, I mean, if people really want these weapons, I suppose you could just try and rank bronze for the duration of Stormblood, and you'd probably be able to get one. I personally, I'm gonna have to see the weapons first in order to decide whether I will deal with it. Because I mean, I've done some competitive ranked stuff before, but the queues are just always so bad.
Yeah,
and it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
saying you won't be disappointed may be a little bit of a over exaggeration, maybe.
Yeah, those are like typical Square Enix buzzwords. They'll be worth it. You won't be disappointed, because they'll be worth it. That to me, just I feel like if for me to grind PvP so much that I get the weapons, I would want some. I don't just want them to be glamour in a sense. I don't know. But then again, it would have to be really, really, like, it would have to be almost Savage level stats on them. So I don't think they'd do that.
Here's why I'm thinking that it's not going to have stats also, because if they're really good weapons, right? How would they have to like scale or something? Because if you're ranking bronze like 7 times throughout Stormblood, by the time you get this weapon, it wouldn't be good anyways. So it would just end up being a glamour weapon, right?
Yeah.
So I would imagine they're probably just glamour and hopefully cool.
Yeah. They're probably going to be really cool. I mean, if you look at the armor, I'm guessing it might fit with that somehow. Let's move on to Gamescom. Gamescom is in Germany. And 14 is going to Gamescom in Germany. We don't know. There's not going to be a live letter, as far as I know. Let's see. I hope there is. Check.
We need one.
They might actually announce it though. It's still,
yeah,
because it's on August the 22nd.
Yeah, it's still like 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away.
That would be a nice time for them to show us Return to Evilise. So I hope that's what's happening. But let's get into what their official announcement states. Final Fantasy 14 is not to be missed at Gamescom 2017, Europe's biggest computer and video game show. I almost burped. Quality. Join us for exciting battles and stage shows in Cologne, Germany from August the 22nd to the 26th. There will be plenty of action in our 2 amazing booths, where you can play and earn rewards like our famous I Beat t-shirts and much more. Final Fantasy XIV will be playable at 2 booths this year. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced adventurer, you'll have many chances to grab some of the great prizes on offer. We will also be hosting guests from the development team who might even appear on stage. Keep your eyes peeled for producer and director Yoshi P, global community producer Foxclan, and main scenario writer Natsuko Ishiwaka? I'm very good with Japanese names. And we have much more than that in store for you as well. So I
got a little bit of a rant about this.
Oh, go ahead.
I went to FanFest. I didn't get no I Beat t-shirt. Didn't even have one.
Didn't they have an event?
They had an event. You fought Proto Ultima. There was no shirt.
Oh, Proto Ultima. Let's not.
Yeah, I know. They had the roulette. They had the roulette there too.
Oh, but they didn't have the shirts?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
On FanFest, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's like the first place I think they'd have them.
I know.
Oh, that's weird. I believe they had those in the European one. I'm pretty sure I saw people... might be wrong. Yeah, anyway, that's weird.
I'm sad now.
Yeah, because they go to like a generic gaming convention and they can get them.
Somebody's like, I don't even know what Lakshmi is, but I got a shirt.
What is this game? Battle Challenge. So the Battle Challenge is Susano and Lakshmi. Whole 9 booth, C040, whatever. The two newest primals, Susanoo and Lakshmi, will be paying us a visit at Gamescom. The primals will alternate each day, so drop by our Battle Challenge booth and face them to get your I Beat t-shirt should you manage to defeat them. Feel free to bring your friends along, even if they're brand new to Oh my god, I'm having the hiccups now, which is great. Even if they're brand new to Final Fantasy XIV, as we recruited community ambassadors to help guide you through these challenges. Make sure you plan ahead in order to be able to add both your shirts to your collection. So Susanoo is on Tuesday, August 22nd, and Lakshmi until midday, and Tuesday, August 22nd in the afternoon. And then, yeah, they alternate after that. Yeah, the shirts, if you haven't seen them already, they look like... My printer is good, so you can see. Come on, it doesn't even focus. Come on. No. Well, they look like this. Yellow and blue. I like that design. I like the I Beat t-shirts.
Yeah, me too.
Iconic. Then there's the Beat the Challenge Roulette, which was what was on FanFest then, I guess. Our Battle Challenge Roulette has been very popular in the past, so we're bringing it to Gamescom. Spin roulette wheels and challenge various battles with random handicaps in place. And don't worry, we will not make it easy for you. Emerge victorious in your trials, and you will receive one of our primal key rings as a reward. Did they not even have those?
Oh, no.
No?
No.
They look cool, too.
Yeah, they do.
Too bad. Don't miss the Battle Arena stage shows. There will be plenty of opportunities for daring adventurers to join us on stage. Find the team at the booth to find out how you can sign up for various activities. Team up for the Feast tournament and play live on stage. Gather your most skilled adventurer friends to register at the booth for the chance to join a PvP match in front of the audience. No pressure. Right there on stage. Fabulous prizes will be awarded to winning teams, so give it your all and show the whole audience who is the boss. Details to be announced at a later date. I'm guessing the rewards are the Feast t-shirts and stuff that they...
I don't remember what they were last time, because they did that. They did that at Europe, at all the other fan fests. I'm not sure what they got for those.
I believe there was a shirt, a t-shirt, I think, and there was some other stuff. I think you could even get like a banner.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Either way, they're actually really good to watch. Like they do a good job of making it interesting.
Yeah, I have never watched that. That's usually when I watched FanFest, I of course only watched the first part with the keynote and all that. That was all I cared about.
The tournament for the EU one, and it was actually really good.
Interesting.
So, if you like even just esports in general, you'd probably check it out. You'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah. So there's also, of course, the regular cosplay contest. Gather your favorite materials, sewing kits, and other tools, and get ready for what will be a show to remember. Attendees who participate in the cosplay contest will be evaluated by an all-star panel of judges. What do they mean? All-star panel of judges.
No idea.
Okay. And the winners will get the opportunity to show off their costume on stage, as well as go home with some fabulous prizes. More details about the cosplay contest, yeah, whatever. I love how the use of the word fabulous. Fabulous prizes. This is the second time they use it here. Fabulous prizes.
Yeah.
So there's also Yoshi P and Natsuko Ishiwaka signing session. Wait. Who's that again? Do we
Natsuko?
Yeah?
Main scenario writer.
Oh, I should have known that. Get a signature from Yoshi P himself on Friday, August the 25th from 6 p.m. See, what time zone is this? Central European Standard Time. This is from the European, obviously, yeah. Ishiwaka, the main scenario writer of Final Fantasy XIV, will also join this session, so do not miss the chance to get a signature from her as well. It even says so, main scenario writer right there. Head to the Battle Arena on Friday to find out how to take part. Then there's a fan gathering. By now, Gamescom fan gatherings are legendary, and they want to keep this reputation up. Join Yoshi P and other Final Fantasy XIV team members for the party of the year. The venue is still secret, but we're looking forward to spending the evening with you once more. Beer and soft drinks will be on us. So
I'm not going to lie, the first time I read the signing session, I read it as singing session. And I thought that would be way better.
That would have been awesome. Yoshi singing. That would
Just
be
a nice little karaoke session.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be they could have like a duet. Oh my god, it would be amazing.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Okay, so the next thing so that's Gamescom, August the 22nd. If you're in Europe, make sure to, if you want, go to Germany in August 22nd. Tales from the Storm. That's a new thing that has been released, which is basically like a series of like short stories about the about the NPCs from Stormblood and how they sort of handled the events that went down in the main scenario. Sort of like behind the scenes look on everything that went down. The first story is focusing on Monago and Conrad. And this is very similar to... did they release a similar thing for Heavensward? I know they released one for like a similar system with the Dalamud thing. They made like stories from the
journal entries from Louis Sua's journal or something. Yeah. I think it was similar-ish, but this honestly seems a little bit better personally. Yeah, I had to read through it, and it seems almost like maybe text that could have been in the game, but they either couldn't find time for it or something like that. And I think it's actually really good. Yeah. So if you like lore, I'd definitely check it out.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's really good, and it's not too long either. It's like perfect length for quick read. Next story. There's only one story out right now. As I said about Monago and Conrad. The next story will be out on August the 11th. The next one after that is the 18th, and then the 25th is the last one. There are 4 slots currently there, so I'm guessing there's going to be 4 stories. So, and also I don't think I think the stories will be standalone. They won't be like the next chapter of this story we just read. It's going to be individual stories. Yeah. Okay, and then there's a furnishing contest underway right now. So if you're creative, this might be something for you. It's a bit weird because they have like some lore tied to this contest.
Yeah,
I found that a bit strange. Okay, so I'll just read what the post said. In a concerted effort to create new furnishing designs, the guild masters of the 3 city-states have posted an open letter to the adventurers of Eorzea. Please peruse at your leisure. And they made like a thing, like on Eorzean paper, I guess. Adventurers of the Realm. In light of recent events, trade with Alamigo and the Far East is increasing rapidly. But while our markets continue to thrive, our patrons grow weary of the wares lining our shelves. To that end, we, the guild masters of Eorzea's various tradecrafts, now seek the aid of the realm's most talented artisans. We bid you lend us your creative minds and worldly experience in designing new furnishings. Be they made of rare metals and supple leather, or precious gems and fine fabrics, it matters not. Patrons the realm over wait with bated breath for fashionable furniture to usher in a new age of interior decorating.
A new age of interior decorating.
Think you have steady hands like the builder and an eye for detail to match? Consider submitting your design of a new furnishing item for Final Fantasy XIV, and one day your idea could become a reality. Wow. Wow.
Sure.
I think that's such a random... I don't know why I think this is so random, but I think it's a very random contest. Like, they're gonna get a lot of, like... What do people do when they troll? What do you think the worst entry? I think they're gonna make a lot of, like, wooden dildos.
I was gonna say a lot of penises.
Yeah, a lot of penises. They'll get... Oh god, there's gonna be so much of that.
The thing is, though, is since they're adding lore into it, right?
Yeah.
It seems kind of strange that I can tell, but by the what's loved in the game right now, obviously, very much leaning towards to Japanese style stuff, weeb, if you will.
Yeah.
That stuff wouldn't be allowed if you're taking this post into consideration, because it's the Eorzeans trying to make sure that they still have nice looking things.
That is true.
So if you designed, something like cherry tree, something, it technically shouldn't win.
True, because that would be, true.
Right?
Yeah. So don't make weeb stuff. Make make something Eorzean and stop.
I'm not gonna lie. I do love what somebody said in chat. A new chair, Louis Suave.
Someone, please. This has to. They have to make this now. That would make me very happy. I'd have an entire house just full of them, full of Louis Suave. Oh god. Okay. Now let's move on to. No, we're not going to move on. There is more. But wait, there's more. There is no limit on the number of entries an entrant may submit. You can submit as many phallic-shaped furniture as you'd like.
Wow.
But each entry must be unique, and each entry must be sent in a separate email. Square Enix will not consider entries if the image resolution is too low, or there are other graphical issues present in the image. Make sure your penises are high-res, people. No, please, don't do that. I don't want to be... I don't want to promote this. Don't do it. Don't do it. Square Enix may publicly post some or all the information entrants provide in their entries, including nickname, entry title, comments, images, etc. So you're warned. If you post a penis, if you send Square Enix multiple penises, they might actually put it on the... No, they're not going to put it on the website. Just gonna be... This person posted a penis.
Yeah.
That would have been nice. Entries
just
post...
straight up shaming.
Oh, they would be heroes, though, in the community, let's be honest.
True.
Entries posted on the blogs or other social media channels before the list of initial finalists are posted on the lodestone will not be accepted. So, don't spoil your design, basically. Additional rules. Square Enix reserves the right to judge whether or not material is appropriate for public display. Mwah, mwah. There we go. I guess... I'm pretty sure Square Enix wouldn't allow a penis.
I would think not.
I love how, I think everyone we're stuck on this penis thing right now with the furniture. But that is where the mind goes when people get to make, when the community is asked to make something.
For untalented people, that's the first thing to go to.
Just draw a penis and send it in.
Yeah.
Square Enix reserves the right to remove or take down any content in its sole discretion. Entrants must not submit entries with links to images uploaded to online storage websites. Entrants must not include personal information such as entrant's name or address in entrance submission entry. Yeah, we'll get back to that later. Entry period. August 1st, 2017 at 9 a.m. BST. That's British summer. Is it British Standard or summer? God, I should have had a Maela right now. I think it's British summertime. To 28th of August at 3:59 a.m. BST.
Wait, when does it start? It says August 2017.
It says August 1st. It's written in the European way.
Oh, European. Oh.
The 1st of August, 2017. But they've done... I think they've made a mistake here. Because they use the 24-hour clock system. But they also use the 12-hour AM PM stuff. You're not supposed to add that to a 24-hour clock.
24, yeah.
It says 15:59 AM. That makes no sense.
No, that doesn't make any sense because that's PM.
Yeah. That's even wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, good job.
That's 4 PM.
Yeah. So that's weird. Good job. They couldn't decide, apparently. But still, even if they couldn't decide, someone screwed up. Oh, whatever. The Final Fantasy XIV development... this is winner selection. The Final Fantasy XIV development and operations team will select the top 100 entries based on the overall execution and quality of the entries. Each entrant of such entries, a contest winner or winner. Now, this is funny, because now we're starting to get into, legal terms here. And this is on the European one. And the Europe is... Let's just say it's a complicated place. because
weird.
Yeah, it is
It's
weird. Because just a quick geography lesson here. Europe is not a country. Europe is a continent, and there are lots of countries in this continent.
I really hope you didn't just teach anybody that. I really hope you didn't just teach somebody that.
I mean, I've read a lot of weird shit on the internet. One of them being
you're not wrong.
that Europe is a country, or the EU being a country like the United States, which is very far from what it is. But yeah, because of that, every country's like laws have to be followed. So the European one is just full of legal disclaimers. We'll get to that. I think the price thing is the same in the North American one, though. The winners will each receive each of the following items, total approximate retail value of €0. 0, and then it just doubles it down in like digits. €0.
None of these prizes are new, are they?
No, that's the next point here.
What about the scarf thing? Is that new?
No, I remember seeing that one. I don't know. This is a previous item. I remember it. So I don't know. I think it was in the gear design contest, maybe. Yeah, the rewards are a Gaily cap, Noble Barding, Mandragora choker, Ahriman choker, Bluebird earring, and a scarf of wondrous wit. Prices will be delivered.
Like the barding. The only thing I like is the barding.
Yeah, that's the this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other prices should be pretty. I think everyone has seen those before. Yeah. So you get all of those prices if you win. Now it's interesting because it says, it says prizes will be delivered to winners in or around November 2017. In the event that a winning entry is deemed to be excellent, Square Enix may implement that design into the game in the future.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So, wait, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. That was my reaction too.
Is that not the point of this entire thing?
I think it's like they're to save their own ass. If they only get shit like penises, if that's all they get, they can say, okay, these are really cool and all, but yeah, we don't want.
That makes sense. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So technically, like in theory, we could like end up with nothing out of this if everyone just sends a penis. Please do that.
But they still have to give out 100 prizes, so you may get an award-winning penis at the very least.
An award-winning
I'm sorry.
penis. Someone make a soundbite. Someone clip that. Make a clip out of that. All in-game items are virtual items and no real-world monetary value and cannot be sold or transferred to third parties. Important. We reserve the right at all times to vary or modify any price referred to above. And now here comes the funny part. This is just few of them, but this is the ones that were these were like separate at the bottom. So contents. So this is just to show you. I think it must be really. I kind of understand why the promotional campaigns were so difficult in Europe, because yeah, there are different countries and they all have their own quirky little laws. For France, for instance, in accordance with the 6th of January 1978 Data Protection and Freedom of Information Law number 7817, we inform you that you have the right to access, rectify, and delete information concerning you by requesting it in writing to the promoter. That's pretty fair enough.
That is fair. It's like, hey, I take that back. Just delete that, please.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Now, for Orange's country, contestants resident in Spain, the name of the winner will be sent to anyone who requests the same. What? Who requests the same within three months of the closing date, and by entering the competition, you hereby agree that the promoter shall be permitted to do so if you are the winner. Requests should be made via the Square Enix Support Center. That is a weird one.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, so this person won. Okay, so you're sitting in Spain and you're like, huh, he won. What's his name? I need his name.
Yeah.
I need his real name. I need to find him.
That seems...
I understand why. I kind of understand the law. I think it is too. We talked about this before we went on. I think it's because it's like a way to to check that the winner is real.
Right.
I think that
Like-
might be why.
So they can't just be like, "There's a winner out there," and then they didn't actually pick a winner
Yeah.
and just took all the money
Mhm.
or something like that.
Yeah, I think that might
I
be.
suppose. But yeah, I guess I'm just a pessimist because I went to the total opposite. I was, my mind went to who won. I'm gonna find them.
Yeah. There was also like at the bottom. It's I can't remember what it said. I didn't put it in the show notes, but it said something like, if something, anything like, what was it? If there was like any legal issues, it would be handled by English. No, by the
England
the
and
laws of
Wales.
England and Wales.
Yeah.
Why only England and Wales? Because my thought would be United Kingdom. But here they're like excluding Scotland and Northern Ireland. Why? Do they not have like they don't have laws up there, I guess, maybe.
No.
I don't know.
England's all that matters. and Wales. Of course.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, so that's that was the furniture contest. So remember that it will end on August the 28th, so make sure to make your the furniture by then and send it in. Don't make phallic shaped stuff. But do make the Louis Suave thing. That was a great idea.
That was a great idea.
Yeah. Oh, we have so much time on the clock. It's almost scary. We that it's been when I say that last week was slow, it hasn't been a very great week this week either, as you can tell, because we've already
It's been like a
reached-
slow month.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So I guess we'll do the great discussion, where we discuss our favorite and least favorite patches. I haven't written them down. I just realized.
me neither. But
So we'll
I was just kind of I was kind of because I'm taking a friend through a realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting, I think he's at like 2.4 now.
Oh.
And I've kind of gotten by proxy to relive a lot of this stuff again.
Mm.
And I realized how awful some of the patches are,
Yeah.
and then how they spike to being really, really good. I know mine in particular, the worst patch of all.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Just one sec. Just to clear up. English and Welsh lore are shared. Scottish and Northern Ireland have separate systems. That explains it then.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Okay.
yes.
Well, that's somebody in chat saying 2.x, all of them pretty bad,
Mm.
with the exception of one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But what takes the cake is 2.2, the
2.2.
Leviathan patch.
Oh, goody. Yes, I remember that one. Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that being like the first time I was like, oh, this is it, huh?
Yeah. And I know a lot of people feel like 3.1 is among the worst,
Yeah.
but if you look back at it, it's still way better.
Yeah, I think 3.1
It's-
gets a lot of flack because it took so long before we
Mhm.
got it. It like took like 6 months. It was like an absurd wait. And for the wait didn't sort of weigh up for what we got. But had
Right.
it only been like 2.5 months or 3 months, it probably wouldn't have been that bad.
I agree. Yeah. So I think honestly, if I were to make a top 5, probably all of A Realm Reborn would be in there.
For A Realm Reborn. I mean,
I'm sorry.
2.5 or 2.
But that's my exception.
Yeah.
Like I guess it was technically 2.55. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Like it wasn't even really 2.5.
Yeah, to be
But-
honest, I don't really remember what we got in 2.5 other than the main scenario, and that was 2.55. What did we get in
wasn't that like
2.5?
Wasn't that like? Well, we got Steps of Faith in 2.5, I think.
Oh, goody.
Do we get? Is that when we got Shiva?
That was Dreams of Ice. That was... Wasn't that 2.4?
I think that's when we got Shiva.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
What was Gears of Change? That was 2.
Gears of-
Gears of
Wasn't Gears
Change.
of Alexander patch?
Maybe it was, I'm mixing up Heaven's Sword now.
I think you are.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 2.5, we got Keeper of the Lake.
Yeah.
I think there was more Hildebrand in there too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure we got Shiva in 2.5. I'm pretty sure we
So
did.
that means that was Dreams of Ice. So that was 2.5.
Right.
Yeah, that would probably make sense then.
But-
No, wait. Before the Fall was put in 2 parts. Before the Fall was 2.5.
Right.
So Dreams of Ice was 2.4. Professional podcast. Professional Final Fantasy 14 podcast.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, we should do this. And then I don't plan for it. We got World of Darkness. We got Odin.
And the greatest dungeon of all time, Snowcloak. That was 2.4, I guess.
That was 2.4. Yeah, that was 2.4. Yeah. So
Gears of Change really is 3.2. What?
Actually, that patch actually wasn't that good. 2.5. It was okay. It wasn't anywhere near.
It was
2.2.
No, but it was just good, like story wise. Both 2.5 and 2.55.
2.55 is probably among my top.
Yeah.
My top thing, like my top ones all
The
together.
only thing I don't like is that they retconned the whole Sultan.
Oh, that well, we're excluding that because that wasn't in the patch. You know
technically
what I mean?
3.0, I guess.
Right. I guess 2.2 was second coil. I mean, there's good things in every patch.
Yeah.
But
I agree with you that the Leviathan patch, I don't know what it was, because we got the stuff that we would like. It was the same stuff that we would get normally. Like you got a primal, but it was I remember the main story being a drag. I remember but there was one thing I remember from that patch, and that was what's her name? The Aura. Before we saw her face, of course.
Oh, Yugiri?
Yugiri. I remember she was pretty badass in that patch.
Mm-hmm. She was.
Yeah.
Honestly, the story in 2.2 was good. The problem, and this is my problem with almost all of A Realm Reborn patches, is that if you count how many quests are in an average A Realm Reborn patch, it's like 35, 40 story quests.
Yeah.
It's an absurd amount. You compare that to Heavensward, where there's like 8, 9, you know?
Yeah. And
it's just so much garbage filler. And I think Leviathan was the peak of that, where they're like, oh, well, it's gotta last people a long time. So let's just make them gather rocks for 30 hours. It'll be great. They'll love it. It's like, no, it's so bad.
And there were a lot of those even in 2.5. I remember that because you knew, because even in 2.55, I think you did that, because you did when you had to pick up like the poison thing. And I remember that part. That was fucking awful, because you knew that, because the main story would like build up, and then was like, now you have to go in Thanalan and search for stuff, and you're like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything? Right. So yeah, A Realm Reborn specifically had major issues with that.
And I think it's weird because at the time I didn't really care. Like, it didn't bother me at the time. And maybe it's just because that was all we had. Yeah. So it was like, well, this is just the way it is.
Yeah.
Like,
and in my case, I you played 1.02, didn't you? Yes.
Briefly, very briefly.
Yeah, briefly. I played it to the end, and we had like main story wise, we had what, 15 quests for the whole like main. I mean, they had some side quests and all that, but I think I just came from a place that was terrible, and I was like, oh, this is less terrible.
Right.
I love this fetch quest. This is new.
I can do more of these.
Yeah. But we were, I guess, kind of blinded by the reboots and all that. That might have been something.
I mean, and of course, there's like a bit of fanboyism in there too,
obviously.
Where it's like, well, it's a Final Fantasy game, so I'll give it an extra chance, you know, like I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And it's also way worse now, because I really feel bad for anybody playing through the game right now for the first time. And I still don't think I would recommend buying a story jump over having to play through this stuff. It is annoying, but I still would suggest playing through it. But it's just, playing it all compressed down like that is not good.
No, I agree.
And I agree with people in chat saying, like, after 2.1 to 2.4, I can't level another alt because it's just too annoying.
Yeah. I see that.
Totally right.
Yeah.
It's totally true.
There is, and as you said, now it's very streamlined. Like, you get 8 to 10 quests. They're very, like, matter-of-factly, you just do this, and then there aren't that many fetch quests anymore. There are some, but God, A Realm Reborn, man, that was...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Heaven's Word was so much better than that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely glad they're through that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because as somebody said in chat, they're like, "Oh, my husband's playing it for the first time."
Oh god.
You feel like a crazy person because you're telling whoever's playing it, you're like, "It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good." And they're going, "But it's not good."
Yeah.
But it is good later. Just stick with it for another 60 hours and it gets good. Like
Yeah.
it's I feel so insane saying that. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to convince myself that it's good.
and you look at the quest log and you're like, oh, is it really good though? You start
And
to
I keep being
question
like-
yourself.
I think I said to him like 5 times, I'm like, "Oh, you're close to Ramu now."
Yeah.
And then I would Google it and I would look and I'm like, "He's still 50,
Yeah.
20 quests away from Ramu."
I've done that so many times to like
Yeah.
motivate them. You're like, you're right there now.
Almost there.
The back of my head is like, there's only 20 more quests.
Yeah. And they're all boring and you won't like
Yeah. So I think, yeah, worst patch 2.x.
Yeah, let's just if I were to make a top 5, we'll just make it 2.1 through 2.5.
Yeah. I think I will agree with you there. Of course, just to clarify, 1.x doesn't count here. We're not gonna.
I'm not even really counting like expansions necessarily in this. For me, it's more just like patches itself.
Yeah, the patches. Yeah.
Because I don't really have inherent issues with most of the actual expansions. Again, A Realm Reborn does drag on a little bit in its story, but I would consider it still a good story and worth playing.
Yeah. The only thing that I hate about A Realm Reborn, like from launch, as I've said like a million times here, is that the opening cutscene isn't voiced.
Right.
That rubs me the wrong way every time.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they did that. Even 1.0 had that.
There's just a lack of voice acting in general.
Yeah.
In A Realm Reborn.
But when you think about the situation Square Enix was in when they made this, you appreciate it a bit more. But new players won't know that.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Now on a more positive note, we can talk about best patches.
Yes.
And again, I'm kind of keeping main expansions out of this because then our number ones would probably be like Heaven's Word and Stormblood.
Yeah.
They'd be like the top ones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess really all we have to work with at this point are the Heaven's Word patches.
Yeah. That's true.
Kind of kick the rest of them to the curb.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my favorite is actually probably which one was Revenge of the Horde? Was that 3.3 or 3.4?
Oh boy. That
It's 3.3, right?
Yeah.
No, that was Warriors of Darkness.
It's 3.4 then.
So yeah. That's probably my favorite. It was actually the end of Heaven's Word and everything like that.
True.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, we got
admittedly, Warriors of Darkness is kind of a little hit or miss. I don't hate it as much as a lot of people hate it. I feel like if we asked people, they would put the Warriors of Darkness patch in maybe some of their least favorite patches.
I feel like there's the issue. It kind of felt like what they did with I don't know if this is spoiler. Or do we have people? We always have someone who hasn't done the Heaven's Sword storyline, but I guess this is the topic, so we have to talk about it. But this sort of ties a little bit in with the how I felt the Monbrida storyline went. Like they write someone in, and then they're there for 10 quests, and then they die or disappear, and that's. Warriors of Darkness could have been such a good storyline, but they ended it too soon, I feel. Because when do you think we'll ever know what that was all about?
Well, I mean, sort of. I think the bigger problem is because they built it up in small chunks so much before that.
It was so much foreshadowing.
Who the hell is that? Who's this guy on the moon? I must know who this is. Small things like that. Them overseeing you, talking to X person, it was they were always there and present, and then it was kind of just like, all right, see you later.
And then there was the whole Urianger thing too, where we saw him unmasked and all. Now he's back to normal. It's just
he was just a double agent.
no one's like, yeah, that happened. We killed some worse. I feel like that whole patch they retconned that as well. I feel like it was just like I don't think
I
we
don't
learned
even think it was
a little
retcon.
bit. What, really?
I think it was more. It was the same thing as Moonbrita. They introduced a character to explain one part of the story.
Yeah. Then
Once it was explained, they didn't need them anymore.
Yeah.
Like how Moonbrita was there to explain how you kill an Ascian.
Yeah.
And the Aura Sight and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
The Warriors of Darkness were specifically just to explain to the general audience that Hydaelyn isn't the only thing in existence and other shards exist and what happens to those shards.
Yeah.
Basically to give our situation a little more, make it a little more dire, right? That, hey, if we win, we're screwed. If they win, we're screwed. So basically everybody's screwed regardless.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, see you later.
Yeah.
Like, that was it.
I as much as because I love Final Fantasy XIV's story. Let's just put that. I think most people who watch this know that already.
For sure.
But I feel like that and the Moonbrita part and Nanamo, the Nanamo thing, it's just lazy writing. At some point, they just went lazy because what you said, they just introduce a character to explain something, and then like, yeah, he's done his job. Off. They could have done that slightly better, and especially with the Warriors of Darkness, I feel like that probably they could have been there for at least another patch, because they died in the same patch they came in, didn't they?
Well, the first one that they were actually
they were there with the main plot point, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So that's absurd to me. That's like, how useless is that? And
they went through like 5 attitude changes in that patch too.
Yeah.
At first they were like, we hate you, you're the worst. And then they're like, but we feel bad because we wronged our own planet.
Yeah.
We love you. Goodbye. It's like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, it's so weird. And then we also, that's the same patch. There's a lot of shit that I've just forgotten about that patch in particular, because the whole thing with Minfilia too. Wasn't that in the same patch? Yeah. And
was that in the same patch?
Yeah, because she came.
It was because we had to talk to Hydaelyn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. God, what a weird patch.
Yeah, it's.
Do you see what I mean? Like that whole patch is just like a black hole. It happened, and after that, we don't speak of it ever again.
Yeah, and it's like it didn't really, in a sense, it didn't really need to happen.
No, it didn't.
You know,
because nothing came out of it.
Right.
Other than Minfilia stopped calling us on our link pearl. That's all. She's gone.
Pretty much. Yeah. I don't think many people cared about that.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think I said it in a previous episode where I think they're just really kind of scared to take big chances with a lot of the writing.
Yeah, I think so.
A little bit more so. I think they did a little bit better throughout Stormblood. I mean, still they could have taken more chances, but I think they're just kind of like, we're going to make this seem like a big deal to get people excited, but we don't actually want to follow through because then we'd be scared what would happen, right? Like certain characters, and they don't want to kill any of the Scions because they're all too important for like marketing and what are we gonna put in Record Keeper if we kill them? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So they're just gonna add a character. Hey, let's make up a character and then kill them.
We did have the whole Horsefant thing. That was a thing that they actually did. He was a very beloved character as well when that happened. So, but he was killed for a very specific reason, I've heard, and that was localization issues. Because Horsefant,
was that true?
Yeah, Horsefant we don't know if it's 100% true. So, but the Horsefant in the Japanese version was not the Horsefant the English speakers knew. He was he was a weird character in that, and
wasn't he like supposed to be the Warrior of Light's lover?
Yeah, it did seem like that was where he was very and the English localization team did not play with that. They did not do that, so they had to change Horsefant entirely, and I think it just became like a hassle to change all his dialogue and change all his animations and stuff, because he did weird animations in Japanese, and in the English one he just doesn't do anything. He's very somber in the English one. So I think it was just to make it easier they killed him.
Chat does nail it on the head, and I do find this to be the case a lot. A lot of people didn't like Horschfont until he died.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I remember I didn't. I barely knew who he was when he died, because I didn't really care about him.
And I mean, he's there almost all throughout Realm Reborn.
But to me, he was just that NPC, that guy that shows up every now and then. But I think maybe for the Japanese players, because he was so special and quirky, he might have connected more with the Japanese audience, because our Horschfont is actually a little bit stilted and weird. I think it's because if you look at it now and you look at his dialogue when he speaks, there are some instances where there is a delay there, and I think that's the delay. There's specifically one where he sits in camp. I think it's in Camp Dragonhead, in his office there with the map. You talk to, I think this is a Realm Reborn, and he says something, and it takes forever, even if you click, before it moves on. But I think that's where his this crazy Japanese animation is supposed to play. So that to me was a bit of a like, God, he's like the boring one that I have to sit and listen to forever. But then after he died, it's immediately you're like, oh my God, this guy's been with me forever. I love this guy.
Yeah, that's almost what it's like. You're like, I just lost a friend I didn't know I had.
Yeah,
like...
you didn't know he was your best friend until he actually died there. I think that's what happened, really. Also, just the Sultana thing is probably the biggest sin they've ever committed in my eyes, because they even added that to the CGI video, like the opening movie for Heavensward, and I think, do you think they chickened out after it had because it doesn't make sense to me, because they overplayed that so much that she's definitely dead. She drank poison,
right?
And they made a CGI trailer.
It was just a sleeping potion. We're sorry.
And the way they brushed over it too in the Heavensward stories, like they just meet in the Silver Bazaar, and Lolorito is just like, it was a sleeping potion, and she's gonna wake up soon, and then she wakes up and
nothing happened,
and then the Ul'dah situation hasn't been touched since. What the fuck is going on in Ul'dah?
Well, I mean,
there were that odd, because she had that meeting with the other leaders. I think
it was the Syndicate. There was like some Syndicate stuff, but
it was not as dramatic as it seemed in the trailer, because we thought that, oh my God, it's gonna be like Ishgard Ul'dah story, but it was mainly just like Ul'dah for 2%, and then the rest is just Ishgard.
What's really funny to me too is, again, from a new player's perspective, he bought Heavensward because he hit level 50 and wanted to, get the experience. And he goes, so I saw the cutscene. What? Somebody dies. What's going on with that? And I literally just went.
Yeah.
The guy was just like, whatever. Like, I'm not even fine, whatever. Yeah. He's like, is that a spoiler? I'm like, I just couldn't even bring myself to say anything. I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't care.
That's like one of the things that still annoys me to this day. That one thing, the Nanamo thing. Every time I see her, I'm like, you should be dead.
And is Nanamo that important that they needed to salvage her?
Well, I mean, if we're going to look at it like lore-wise and how... Because if she dies, the Syndicate would have full control of Ul'dah, so obviously it would be awful. Right. The Syndicate is corrupt as fuck.
Right.
But how much power... How much power does the Sultana have, though? Is she like a...
She ridded herself of a lot of power.
Okay, yeah. So she's more like a constitutional Sultana.
Right. Whereas, like, the Sultanas before were, like, kings. They were sultans, you know?
Yeah.
But they're...
I mean, she's a symbolic character, though. And she is, I guess, the one keeping the Syndicate in control. Because...
But is she that, like... I'm just thinking from, like, a... you know that Square Enix does this stuff from, like, almost marketing / what they can put on promotional materials, all that kind of stuff. who gives a shit about?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
In
know,
that
you
sense,
know?
yeah, she's not your Stola.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Who has plot armor?
Yeah.
Or not even plot armor. It's like Square Enix armor.
Oh yeah, we have to talk about fucking Gusetsu too. That's also a
Mhm.
great example. And they didn't even kill the I keep forgetting her name. I'm sorry, I don't think I'll ever learn her name. What's her name?
Yatsuyu?
Yotsuyu. There we go. She didn't die either.
No.
She didn't. They didn't even kill the bad character.
Yeah.
That is an issue I have, because I remember this is way back in when 2.55 came out. I remember sitting on this podcast saying that it's almost like Game of Thrones-ish, because now people are dying, and then they don't, and it's sad.
Yeah.
It's also good. I remember being slightly relieved that she didn't die, because I don't know why, but it's just like when you don't want to be happy when someone dies, I guess.
Well, I just thought they went out in such a good way. In such a good way.
Yeah.
Because it was like, this is so important.
Mm.
You need to get out of here. You need to live. It doesn't matter what happens to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like, I felt like it was a very Louis Suave moment where it was like a very selfless act, you know, for the bigger picture. But it was like, whatever, it's fine.
Can't wait for 4.1. Jujutsu and Nanamo and Gusetsu and Raubon all die the patch.
And then 4.2 is they're just back again.
They wake up. It was just a sleeping potion.
Raubon has lost his other arm.
Oh god. Oh goodness.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, they're definitely a little bit scared to take bigger risks with characters.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But what was the? Oh yeah, we're talking about the.
We're talking about patches, but it totally shifted to like death, which is hey, you know.
Yeah, well, it was an important topic to cover.
I mean, that's kind of what dictates if a patch was good or not. Is from most perspectives at this point is just the story.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really matter if this fight came out during this patch, because right now you just experience them all separately anyways.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. True.
Like no one's getting to patch 2.2 and going, okay, I finished 2.2. Now I have to take a break, run all the specific dungeons, but no more, and then do a Leviathan Extreme. Like, you know, like nobody's doing that anymore.
No.
So
yeah, that's true. I just Monbrida. I just remembered her again. What? I just can't get over it, because she legit died. And there's like no way she's gonna come back, just like Horsefang.
Oh no, her like soul and everything was obliterated.
Yeah, there's no chance. What was her purpose?
To explain how to kill an Ascian. That's it. That was her whole purpose.
Such a waste of character. Such a waste.
Yeah, she was there to go, this is Auracite. How do we use Auracite? Oh, I'll use myself to kill an Ascian. That was it.
Yeah.
That's what she was there for.
Yeah.
And then for Urianger to make little toy dolls where he fantasizes about her.
Yeah, I kind of like that part, because Urianger suddenly became like human-ish.
Human, yeah, definitely.
But other than that, that was, again, I feel like that was a waste. She could have been a great Scion. Also, like, I don't think there are many Rogadins in the main scenario.
There's like one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a few technically, but important ones.
How many female ones?
Merlewib. That's it.
Yeah, there's only. Oh, yeah. No, I want to talk about like everything today. So let's. I just want to, because it's very interesting. Merlewib is interesting because she was in 1.0, and female Rogadins didn't exist. I remember people talking about, like, conspiring that she was some sort of weird Hur. Highlight, what was it again? A crossover, like the first like mixed race in the game. I remember that so clearly, and everyone was like, "Yeah, that has to be it."
Oh, because, like a Highlander and a
Rogadin. And a Rogadin got a baby, and they got Merlewib. Yeah, that was just. Let's move on. Let's not talk about Merlewib. It's cross.
To be fair, that's what a lot of people thought with Gusetsu too.
Yeah, that surprised me that he wasn't.
I still don't understand that, by the way.
Yeah, because
as he said, he's a different type of Rogadin, Okay, well, where are the rest of them?
Yeah. Why don't we know?
You walk through Kugane and you only see like sea wolves
Yep.
and Hell's Guard. You don't see.
Didn't he also say that he was a Hell's Guard, but he was like a different branch of the Hell's Guard. It's weird how they describe that, because you can't make a Rogadon like that. That's impossible in the character creator, which I guess would make sense because he's an MP. Because with the main scenario now, they make actually unique characters now. They don't use the character creator themselves. Anyways, yeah, someone mentioned Kryl too. She survived Alamigo, the little Alamigo thing.
I actually don't think that's done yet, though. She's got something dormant in her.
Yeah,
she has to.
Maybe.
Like, she's gonna look over one day and she's gonna have the glowing red eye.
Oh yeah,
like something like that. Like she's gotta have something.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody else brought up a good point. As a Duskwhite, Duskwhites are very underrepresented in the main story as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There's like 3 of them, and they're never important characters.
Yeah.
And they're always bad people. They're always thieves or murderers.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with that. That's cool.
Anyways, let's get back on track here. We were talking about the best patch. What did you say was your favorite one? I forgot where it was.
Probably 3.3, I guess, is
3.3.
Is the Nidhogg patch. That was probably my favorite.
It's difficult. I think I have to.
It is difficult.
Yeah. It's also difficult because it's hard to remember now what we got in them.
It all just kind of blends together, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of liked... I liked...
3.5 is good.
Yeah, too. I was about to say, like, 3. Was that when we got... When did we get the last Alexander? Was that in 3.4 or 3.5? That was 3.4. Because I liked Creator, but I... But that was just because the other ones were so bad.
Right.
God, I don't really know. It's either 3.3 or 3.5 for me. I guess it'll be a tie. I'm gonna be boring and say it's a tie.
Well, 3.5 had like Dunscape.
I love. What I don't like about 3. No, actually, I'm gonna go back on that. No, not 3.5, because that's the same patch. It's not the same patch, but you got like the add-ons 3.6 and 3.7. Those were not good patches because of fucking Proto Ultima being a fucking trash mob.
I knew that's exactly where you were going.
What the fuck? I forgot. Yeah, sorry. Oh, Old Rage returns. That was awful. Also, the new diadem. God, actually, that was terrible.
You're right. That actually didn't have a lot. and that's the hard thing, is you're trying to separate yourself from the story and what the actual patch was like at the time, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. Actually, 3.5 wasn't that good.
No, it was not.
I mean, I loved Dunscape. That was really good.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
Zervan sucked.
Skip Thor.
Yeah, really, there was nothing else really that great in that patch besides the story. And the story was really good.
Oh, yeah.
It was a fantastic setup. And I'm including 3.55 in that,
kind
of, even though I probably shouldn't. It's really, really good story-wise, but yeah, you're right. That actually wasn't a very good patch.
No. Yeah, I think 3.3 would be best. What was 3.4? That was...
I think that was the Warriors of Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
And...
No, wasn't that... Oh, yeah, that was that one.
No, I'm pretty sure it was
patch.
3.4.
So let's not talk about that.
It had Creator in it and Sophia?
Oh, actually, that was a... Shit. I'm torn. 3.4 was... No, actually, don't. I'm just blinded by Alex Creator because that was the only positive thing about that patch, I think.
Right. Well,
I mean, Sophia was good too. Yeah, Sophia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it was pretty good. This is just going to be this for the next half hour. Just me going, yeah. Yeah.
No, it sucked. Actually, it was really good. I liked it a lot.
3.3. I'm going to go with you on 3.3 then. What was 3.2? That was Gears of Change, right? No, wait, that was 3.
I think 3.2 is Gears of Change, yeah.
Yeah, let's just say that that's what it was. And I think yeah, that's great. I liked Sophia. Sophia was very easy, I remember.
3.2 had 3.2 was the patch where Minfilia went into the crystal and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It had Sephiroth in it.
Yeah, that's the really? Oh, okay. So she went into, did she go into the crystal? Didn't she just disappear into 2.55? She didn't.
That's when you found out she was in the crystal.
Oh,
like when you go through whatever the place is called, that dungeon where you know what dungeon I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
It's like the word of the mother, or is that's like the place in it?
Anti-tower?
No. Anti-tower.
Yeah.
Thank God. Oh, we're so bad.
Oh God. How is this podcast?
Yeah,
going?
and that was good.
Yeah.
But
I just so anti-tower was added in that patch. A dungeon I grinded so much I want to cry. Yeah, I just remember that being like a grind fest dungeon. That fucking
and that had Midas in it, which is something people either liked or really hated.
Yeah, had a nice soundtrack. The last one though.
True. I would say we actually ended up pretty much picking the same things.
Yep.
Worst patch was pretty much anything in A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
And best patch was 3.3.
Yeah. I think my favorite patch of all time, though, in the lifetime is patch 1.19. Just.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what
You just remember loving it?
No, wait. 1.15, I think. That was the first YoshiP patch. And I don't remember specific. The patch before that was when they added the search function for market wards. I remember that blowing my fucking mind.
This is the best game ever now.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, now I can brag about this game to my friends and have them play. Because you can actually search for stuff. It was so sad. That was
crazy. Guys, this is the best game ever. Like, you can actually, if you want something, you can type it in and it'll say whether you can get it or not.
Yeah, it will tell you where to go. But you still had to locate. Like, you couldn't buy it off the search. Yeah, you had to go look for the NPC or the retainer. It was
much easier to impress at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Guys, the chocobos, you can actually ride them now.
Yeah.
Like, they're in the game. They're not just there.
God, I think the chocobos came in like 1.2
something, right? Yeah.
I think it's 1.20. I think that was when they introduced them, so it came out really late. It might be 1.21 even. I remember 1.19 because I think, or 1.19. I keep saying 1.19. I think that's when they added Hamlet Defense, or that might have been 1.20. That was a great patch. And I think that's, in Final Fantasy terms, that was like such a big change that I still remember that patch to this day. That's when the game, like, because before that you had to like make excuses for why you were playing the game. I remember that, like, every time I logged in, it was like, why do I log in today? And I'm like,
well, I can search for items.
Yeah,
so
I can search for items today. I remember logging in one day and I was just walking around and at some point I just stopped walking and I just stared at the screen and I was like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Oh, you had like a full-on existential crisis?
Yeah, it just, something just snapped. The fanboyism just stopped for a few seconds and I could just like see it from the outside. I was like, there is nothing to
terrible.
do. Yeah, this is
awful.
Why am I playing this game? And I remember I got so upset. I walked back to Limsa and I sat down at the drowning wench and I sat there and there was like one person like walking by and I was like, why do you play this game? I wrote in Say Chat. Why are you playing this game? And his reply, because he stopped and then he looked at me and then he said, this game is really good for roleplay. I logged off.
Well, it's been a great week, guys.
Okay, I think that's a perfect way to end this show. We've reached the end of the podcast. Make sure to follow us on social media and all that. You can see it above me. If you're watching this on demand on YouTube and or Twitch, the show runs live every Saturday at 8 p.m. No, wait. 7 p.m. GMT, 12 p.m. PDT. What else do I have to say? Pledge to our Patreon. I don't know. At some... Goodbye, Aorcians.
Thank you for watching this episode of Speakers of Eidolon. If you want to watch the show live, the show runs live every Saturday at 7 p.m. GMT, 12 p.m. PDT on twitch.tv/Speakers of Eidolon and on youtube.com/SpeakersXIV. If you want to support the show, consider pledging to our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you. If you want to support the show, consider pledging to our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.